in ghosts and warlocks and licking toads. Why is that any more stupid than all those things?
It's not going to work, is it?
Alright, fine.
It's rubbish.
Okay, what about this then? There's apparently now available £1.5 million apartments available on an exclusive ship which sails around the world.
Yeah, it's like
What do you make of that?
it's a huge thing, and you live on it, and it's, I mean, in theory,
How big is it?
it's mental.
Do you know
It's
when-
like
Huge
a
luxury
town
liner.
centre.
Do you know how,
Because-
like, people said that the Titanic was the biggest ship? Was that only then? They've got
Yes.
bigger ones now, haven't they?
Yeah,
A lot bigger.
oil tankers are much bigger, and yeah.
No, but actual
Liners are big. Yeah. It was the biggest then. Yeah.
Because my mum told me that there was one that was that big that it had like rough areas on it.
Don't go starboard!
Oh God!
No, but do you know what I mean?
Right.
It was like
We're thinking of moving. We're seeing the captain. We're thinking of moving to a nicer area.
Oh, yeah. I've heard they're very rough in aft.
Oh God! Oh, that's
They steal your tyres.
A ship's so big there was rough areas. Oh.
how big is this one that you're talking about?
Well, I don't know, it doesn't give me the specifications here, but
They're huge. They're huge. In theory, I mean, it's that thing with it's obviously marketing, but they're gonna solve the overpopulation crisis, where soon we'll all just be floating around the sea.
Yeah, I can see that, because I mean, think about it, right? I've been talking to Ricky about it. I was hoping to buy somewhere in London, but there is no way in this world that I can afford it, right? And you look at all the wasted space, like with the Thames. All it's doing is like collecting crisp packets and stuff and Coke cans, and people have to clean it up. Whereas if you got a load of boats on there, problem solved.
Yeah. Would you live on a
Problem
boat?
solved.
What's his name did it, didn't he? What's that programme? Is it Bergerac?
Noah. Oh, Bergerac?
There was one where he lived on a boat. I think it's quite.
That was
Nine
a
or
shoestring.
something? Yeah, I'd give it a go anyway.
Noah.
I'd like to see you living in the air, maybe in a giant hot air balloon.
Yeah, alright. But no, the boat thing, because it is going to get bad as well, isn't it? They're saying that the water's melting or whatever.
The water's melting.
The ice is melting.
Yeah.
And there's going to be no
Probably
water and less land. So in the future, it's probably going to be the way we're going to be living, isn't it?
Have you seen that film Waterworld?
Nah, I don't fancy it.
Because
Is that what happens?
that sort of predicts that, yeah.
What, are they saying that the ice thing is melt?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was thinking about this a couple of weeks ago. If you get, I mean, I think I read that like a big chunk of ice fell off one of the ice, what do you call them?
Caps.
Ice caps. Something like I think they said it's the size of the Empire State Building or something.
Right.
It snapped off and went into the water, and it's melted. And they said, oh, it's bad news, you know, that something that size is melting. But the way I look at it, if something that size falls into the water, it's like a big ice cube, and it's gonna freeze it up again. You with me?
Not really,
Go on.
Right, you get a giant ice cube, the size of the Empire State Building, stick it in the water, it's gonna make it's gonna stick back on again, isn't it?
Well,
It's
no,
gonna stick back
only
on
if
again.
it freezes up again.
Yeah, well, it will
it's gonna
freeze up. The
well, it
water's gonna
won't,
get cold again because you've just put a giant ice cube in the water.
So when you put an ice cube in a drink, the drink doesn't freeze, does it?
No,
the
it's
ice
not.
melts.
If you put one the size of an Empire State Building in your glass of Jack Daniels, it's gonna make it freezing.
It's not going in a glass of Jack Daniels, it's going in the ocean.
I know, but you see, I'm using my fables. Imagine a world.
Use your brain instead.
Imagine the world. Imagine the sea, like the Arctic or whatever, as a glass of Jack Daniels.
Okay.
A big ice cube falls into it.
Yeah.
It freezes. It melts back on again. So we're all right. I don't know why everyone's worrying.
God, thank God for that. I was getting panicked. Oh, fine.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, that will happen.
Should we play some more music and then come back to what?
Yeah, this is better than ever.
This is dynamite this week.
Fine in here on XFM 104.9. We're doing White Van Carl. Got another one there?
Well, it's just your thoughts really on the Queen Mum's very British send-off that she was given this week.
Yeah.
What do you make of all those people queuing up to see her? Did you think that was incredible?
Right. Well, we said last week, you know, there was I don't quite understand why there's so many people there who were like getting really upset. Do you know what I mean? Really upset, crying and stuff. And you know, you can lose someone who's like related to you, and you don't cry like that. You sort of sit there and you think back to what you did with them and stuff, and then that's it. But the queue thing, it was wasn't it like miles long and stuff?
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Right, I was sat watching this with Susan.
12 hours queuing.
Yeah.
It never got to
And-
12 hours.
It did, but
It
that was
did.
the estimated time.
No,
But how
you know-
long is a queue when they're just like, you know, walking along? Think how far you can sort of like, you know, stagger in 12 hours.
Incredible.
It's been ridiculous.
Yeah. But, again, you know, if they want to do that, it's their time and that, innit? And
Yeah.
it was at the weekend, so they could have... It's not as if they got out of work to do it.
No.
You know what I mean, they used their own time, so good on them. But I thought, right, what they could have done... Remember when I studied Che Guevara?
Yeah.
Right? And don't be offended by this, it's just an idea, because they did it with Che Guevara. Remember when they cut him up?
Yes,
Remember?
they cut him up, yeah.
What was the reason for cutting him up?
Well, they cut up Che in order to try and, you told us that they were going to send bits of his body to Fidel Castro and various other people, wasn't that right?
As a warning, wasn't it, though, to all the people, like, one to...
Yeah, my understanding was that they cut him up in order to, so they could bury him in different places, so that there'd be not one place that you could go to in order
Right.
to
Well, a
sort
little
of make
bit
him into
like
a
that.
martyr.
Little bit like that. I've like
I can
6
vaguely
queues.
see where this is going.
6 queues, and it's like, number 1, you can, you know, go and pay respect to her head, or whatever.
Oh, God.
No, but I just was thinking the way of speeding it up. I'm not having a go, I'm not, because they haven't done it, so it doesn't matter.
God.
But they did it with Che Guevara.
Yeah.
Everybody would have felt like they've got close to her, and it would have speeded it up.
No, I mean, but I can understand.
Can I just say that genuinely, Carl is not being disrespectful here. This is his best idea to cut down the queues. So don't phone in. He's not suggesting we should have done this. He genuinely
Well, he
is. Well, but I mean, he's not doing it to be nasty or wacky or you know. He thinks this is a good idea. So
Can I just throw a
Because they did it
thought
with
at
Che
you?
Guevara, who was like a powerful man, he did a lot for the world and what have
yeah,
you.
yeah.
And
Have you aware that I feel slightly responsible for this because have you heard the quote? A little knowledge is a dangerous thing.
yeah.
Okay, Steve, next one.
No, just a very quick question. I can understand those that have queued for 12 hours to see the head. I'd be a little bit annoyed if I got there to find a toe.
I'll tell you what though. I'll tell you what they could do without chopping her up. They could put about 9 queues. Each could see each hip she had.
That's true enough.
Because she's had about 9 of them.
Yeah.
So it'd just be if you want to see the whole body, it's a 12-hour queue. If you just want to see a couple of the hips.
Here's another suggestion for you, I've just thought, right?
What?
Instead of everyone queuing to see her, why not put her on a trolley and wheel her past everyone else?
Running. So
Yeah, you could have some students on Rag Week and you combine it, like when they're always pushing a bed. You know, they could just run it along the queue.
No,
That'd be fantastic.
that'd be disrespectful.
Right, as opposed to the chopping up.
So,
Sure.
Right.
but just an idea.
Just I apologise now. Anyone's offended.
Anyone offended, I'm sorry. But
Yeah.
Okay, finally, this is more frothy. Liz Hurley lying low, apparently, at Elton John's house to try and avoid the press now that she's had a child.
That's a good place to go to avoid the press.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Elton John's house. Yeah.
Everyone seems to be friends with Elton John.
Yeah,
Every celebrity's
when
friends
he
with...
pop into Elton John's house, what is he running some sort
But
of...
it was like when Robbie Williams was a drunkard and a drug addict, he went to Elton John's.
Yeah, and it was the other
Elton
fellow that went there as well. Was someone to recuperate and shoulder the crime? Is he giving out false passports?
I
and,
don't know
like,
if people have seen his
moustaches?
history. He's not the man of, you know, I mean, I know he's cleaned himself up now, but, you know, maybe that's it. Maybe he's got this kind of insight into how to deal with celebrity.
Yeah.
What do you
Well,
reckon?
I think it's just genuine mates with him. I think it's just
suppose
like a
so.
friendly
I
bloke.
think she's been doing too much lying low in the first place. That's part of the problem, isn't it?
High five, Carl.
That was a genuine joke from Carl there. And he's so proud of himself. Look at his little face.
Too much lying low.
Oh, that was
No,
my
but I
man,
agree
Carl.
with you. Why can't she just go around to her mum and dad's or something rather than Elton John where everyone's looking? Yeah,
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 that's the point, isn't it?
yeah.
So that was good, yeah.
Very good.
Oh.
Yeah. Right, what music we got? We got
Bit of flaming lips.
Flaming Lips, excellent. There's the classic Race for the Prize. Should have been a big hit, never was, sadly. The Flaming Lips and Race for the Prize. Just playing that, Rick, for everyone who emails us saying we get a lot of emails every week, but we obviously don't really respond to them because we're very lazy people, but we obviously appreciate it. And I play that particularly for Claire, who's emailed in saying her friend Sarah Prosser would like some Beatles. We're not going to play the Beatles this week, but Sarah apparently loves us more than words can express.
More than Carl could express.
Absolutely.
I'm going to stop you there. Do you want an advert? Spread your love on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Mitchell. And now it's Carl's bit. It's the re-education of Carl. He's like Liza Doolittle. And now he's coming to, or Lawnmower Man if you've seen that film. More like Lawnmower Man if you've seen the film. You know what I mean. and his homework was to just study quotes, really, on happiness and stuff, and general well-being. He's not a big happiness quote fan, are you, Carl?
Not really.
So what have you done? You've come up with something, haven't you?
Right, yeah, I told you, right? Because a lot of these are just things you say every day. They're nothing special. So what I'm doing...
Well, you say them every day.
Well, the sort of things you come out with and you don't even think about it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're on the TV all the time, people on the radio are saying these sort of little quotes.
Sure.
And, what I've done is, remember that programme on Channel 4, Faking It?
Yeah.
Where they got some, like, posh kid to be on a door and all that. What I've done, I've,
Imagine if that was the pitch for the show. Dear Channel 4, just gonna get a posh kid on a door or something?
Yeah,
Yours
come
sincerely,
in,
Carl.
come in. Yeah.
TV producer.
Yeah, go on.
So, what I've done, this little book of quotes, happiness quotes, I've picked 2 that are real,
Okay.
and I've made one up. Alright?
And we've got a guess.
And you've got to guess.
Okay, then, go on.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rick, why don't we, when we've heard them, we won't confer.
No.
You write down yours,
Yeah.
A, B, or C, and I'll
Yeah.
write down mine, and we'll
Sure.
see how it
Okay,
is.
Carl, off you go.
Right, and just because I'm looking at this book, it doesn't mean I'm actually reading.
No, I know,
Don't
no,
worry,
no.
we're clever.
No, we know, we can't see, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
call my bluff.
Yeah, go on then.
Nothing is worth more than this day.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah?
Alright.
yeah.
The way I see it,
Oh God, my head's gonna burst.
no, hang on.
My head's gonna burst.
No,
Hang
no,
on.
this might not be Carl's.
It might not be.
How do you know I haven't tweaked them a little bit?
Yeah, good
Okay,
point.
fair
Good
enough.
point. No, good point.
Though you got to put up with the rain.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright?
Alright, yeah.
Okay, no. It's not here.
Come on.
Cat food.
Cat food, come on.
It stinks a bit. But if you don't put up with the smell, the little kitten will die.
Steve, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Imagine this in faking it. Imagine their faces when he says that, and they're going, "Oh my God." Oh. Carl, play a song, mate.
We'll have to confer on this one.
Well, that's just amazing, Carl. Just read them again. Two were real, one was fake. Go on in.
Right. First one. Nothing is worth more than this day.
Excellent. Next one.
What does that mean?
Well, cherish now, cherish your time.
Okay.
Because you can't get it back, and
Yeah,
you know.
that's the way I saw it.
Carpe diem, whatever it is, seize the day and all that.
Okay. If you want the rainbow, you've got to put up with the rain.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, rough with the smooth. You know, it's not all plain sailing, but you know, rainbow's beautiful, but it comes because of the rain, which you might not like. So
Yeah.
make the most of everything, and yeah. Good.
Cat food doesn't smell good, but if you don't put up with it, then the little kitten will die.
Right, no, Carl, that is a good effort. Now that one's yours. I mean, obviously, right?
Right.
Right, no, but it's a good effort, right?
I mean, it slipped seamlessly into the others.
Yeah.
I don't think it didn't.
No, but it's good. I mean, we knew it was that one. But what I will say is, it's good. But what you don't know, maybe subconsciously, is, I mean, it's very similar to the putting up with the rain and the rainbow. But that's good.
Why do you think that?
Well,
What does mine mean?
well, even though it smells bad, it's good for something.
Right,
So
see,
that's
I didn't look at it like that.
What did you look at that?
I kind of thought...
Was yours more specifically about cat food, generally? Because you know, normally it's an analogy.
Yeah, or a metaphor for something, you know.
Well, no, the way
I mean,
looked at it-
Dolly Parton, who I think did the rainbow rain thing, she wasn't specifically concerned about weather conditions.
No.
It was a sort of general idea.
it's all about light.
Yeah. Well,
Existence.
that's what I've done.
Go on,
I've used an everyday thing
Yeah.
and put it with today's problems, right?
Go on.
So, like, my girlfriend, yeah, she might like to go shopping for clothes. I hate it,
Right.
but because I love her, I put up with it.
Ah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you love that little kitten. You can't stand the smell of the stuff you got to feed it, but because you love it, you go, well, you know, I'll put up with this just for a few minutes, and then I can like squeeze its head later and give it a little.
Sorry. Can we go back?
you know, stroke its head and stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was a bit of a slip, was it?
Squeeze its little head.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's just the thing that I do with cats.
Put it in a bag and drown it in a lake.
I can feed it and then I can throw it against the wall.
Exactly.
So you didn't see it like that, did you?
No, that's very good. So it's about love, is it? It's about putting up with the bad things for something you love.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
But Carl, you seem now to be convinced and rather smug that you've tricked us and that you've fooled us and that we didn't understand it. Well, I say that's your fault, not ours.
No, it's not though. I mean, look, that man in Forrest Gump, he was a bit of a nutter. And he came up with the life as a box of chocolates thing.
Yeah.
Now, if that was in this book, you say, oh yeah, brilliant, you know, good bit of work. But if he was sat here doing the show with you,
Yeah.
you'd be taking the mickey out of him.
Sometimes I feel he is.
No, but Carl, I could. In fact, if people are out there, we're too lazy. Could you write down everything Carl's ever said? Because I think we could publish that.
Yeah.
He said one today. He saw my salamander. It's not a euphemism. He saw my salamander, and it's just sitting there in the tank.
Your exotic pet.
Yeah, and he's worried about there not being a lid on. And he said, I went, what are we worried about? He said, well, he said it sits there for 24 hours a day, obviously planning to get out.
Well, it's got nothing else on its mind, and it's the daft thing is, he has actually got the lid ripped up a little bit. Like, it's got nothing else to think about. And it'll be looking up there, and it's going to get out.
But what's the worst that could happen?
What's it thinking? What do you think it's thinking, this salamander?
It's got its eye on the DVD player. I could have Ian be down the market.
Well,
Oh, God!
are they dangerous?
Can I just say something?
Are they dangerous?
I think the salamander's thinking exactly the same things as you. I mean, to look at you, you've got the same expression on your face. You know what I mean? You're dressed in green as well. You've got a little round sort of Hamburglar type head, like the salamander. Very similar. And yet I think, and you bonded with it, didn't you?
Yeah, but I probably would have tried to get out, but my little paper round bag would just hang on the corner.
Yeah.
Listen, can we have more nepotism on the show? I know that we did that earlier with the
We haven't got long, have we?
We haven't. My housemate, you remember I was working out with him last week to Helen from Big Brother's dance-a-size video?
That's just frightening.
Yeah, we've kind of let that slip a little bit, I've got to be honest. But anyway, he's joined this band. They're called Fujiya and Miyagi. Slightly difficult to pronounce. But anyway, this is a track that I think's been getting some play by Nick Luscombe and John Kennedy on XFM. They got a gig this week at the Pool on Curtin Road. That's 18th of April, Thursday. Let's play it.
Can I just say I've got a fridge freezer for sale, 400 quid or nearest offer.
Fujiya and Miyagi performing live Thursday the 18th of April at the Pool on Curtin Road. Admission is free, Rick, so I imagine you'll be heading down there.
Yeah, I will. Well, I've enjoyed this show.
Yeah, it's been a good one.
It's great. It's been great. Carl, any more? Oh, tell that story that you were telling me about your dad when he was driving.
Well, it's just that you were talking about, well, I mentioned Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And the Forrest Gump types. When my dad was when he was a taxi driver,
Yeah.
you used to have to sort of do your bit for the local area
Oh, God.
by taking the Forrest Gump
yeah.
people to Blackpool.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called now, the Forrest Gump people? Is that what the organisations that support them ask for them to be referred to?
A minibus with life is a box of chocolates.
Yeah, exactly.
.com.
Forrest Gump types.
It must have, so you worked with these people?
It was yeah.
The people with learning difficulties.
And they used to get five.
Coming home must have been a busman's holiday.
So he got 5 of them in the cab.
Yeah.
And they had to go to Blackpool, and 4 of them were really good, you know, behaving themselves, didn't mess about, weren't fighting and stuff, but there was one who was just causing loads of trouble and they couldn't control him. And what you've got to be able to do with people like that, you don't want them to get stressed out because it's not good for them. It stresses them out, and you could end up with a bit.
Thanks, Dr. Carl.
You could end up with a bit of a riot on your hands. So he thought, I'll nip this one in the bud right now, and he pulled up just on the outskirts of Blackpool, and he took the one out that was causing problems and put it in a wheelie bin.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologise.
He did what?
Oh,
He did it for the good of the others. He put it in the wheelie bin. He was having a good time. He thought it was one of the rides.
Can you stop saying it?
Him.
Yeah.
He was having a good time, and once he calmed down, my dad went back and picked him up, and he was fine. He had a good
What,
time.
you left him in there the whole time the others were in Blackpool?
No, he left him there, not the whole day, probably about an hour and a half,
In a wheelie bin?
in a wheelie bin.
Why couldn't he get out?
Because, like, his arms were trapped on the thing. One of those...
What, he tied him up?
No, do you know, like, because he was a big fella, and like he managed to get him in so his arms were down his side like that, so he was a bit trapped.
Wasn't he screaming and crying and stuff?
He was making a bit of noise, but do you know what I mean?
What you feel so right?
Well, but anyway, I didn't really want to talk about it. He just brought it up because